Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Friday, January 11th, 2019. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. That's good stuff. Um, yeah. So, what's going on? I'm not ready to share it because I can't. Like, I didn't prepare, but there's a logo for this show now. It was finished up yesterday by one of the amazing artists on the team, and so shout out to Norleanne for getting that done. Super cool. Um, the website is barely functional, but functional, and we'll just, we'll add more to that as we go. But right now, pretty much, you can watch the latest episode, and there are a couple links to YouTube from it. But we'll get the logo worked in, and it was supposed to be ready as a podcast feed yet by now, but the logo was the priority, and so we got that done. So now we can move on to the next step. Okay. So what's going on today? Today's Friday, which means I'm driving and doing some work, some consulting work. Going to Kempo tonight, and then tomorrow I should be headed to my friend Master Terry Dow's school in Manchester, New Hampshire tomorrow evening. He's got some, let's see, they're pre-amateur, so some fights, some kickboxing matches. There might be some jiu-jitsu stuff going on. But it's real fundamental stuff. It's real basic stuff. And what I like about watching really amateur full contact is that people are out to learn. The motivation is different. It's not about your record. It's not about money. It's about getting better. And I think that's pretty cool. It's not something I want to do. Oh, I thought I did for a little while. I thought I wanted to test myself in that way. Here I am. I'm knocking on 40. And obviously the time to do it is as soon as possible if I was going to do it. But it scares me. It scares me in a lot of different ways. And normally I'm one to address fear, push through fear, to find a way to combat it. But some fear is healthy. Fear, going 100 miles an hour and doing a wheelie on my motorcycle. That's good fear. I'm not doing that. Nor do I want to punch someone in the face or get punched in the face. In fact, in a way, I'd rather get punched in the face. I don't like causing people harm. I don't like hurting people. And I know, like, stepping into a ring, it's different. You're both there for the same reason. But I know me. And I'm pretty sure that I would keep fighting until I really got hurt. If I won, I would keep doing it thinking I was really good at it. And eventually somebody would crush me. Or I'd lose, and because somebody crushed me. And I don't want to dedicate the time or the energy knowing that that's going to be the ultimate outcome. I'm not the type of person who's going to do something, do well at it, and stop. That's not my nature. And I'd flirt with this idea of, oh, maybe I can, become a fighter somehow in my free time. So I'll just content myself to believing that I'd do okay. We'll call it good there. Last Thursday's episode of Martial Arts Radio about what I termed the McDojo paradox, where, in summary, I come through and say that, yes, we all have our own definition of a McDojo, but none of us have the right to force our definition on anyone else. There was a lot of good discussion, some great emails that came from it, some good, some not so good. public comment. But one of the things that people brought up consistently was around their ability to apply their martial arts in a real world setting. And it's funny because no matter what we're doing in our training to simulate real world self defense need, it's still simulated. And we have different ways of digging into that sphere. And they're all good because they're all helpful. But I gotta say, I've never been to a school that takes it so close that you're going to be comfortable if you get assaulted, that if you need to use it. It doesn't mean that there aren't out there. I haven't trained everywhere, so if you're watching or listening and you're saying, no, that's what we do, okay, cool, awesome. I think like anything else, the more different approaches, the more you get to round out that skill set. You know, when you're talking about self-defense, you're talking about adrenaline response, and you're talking about positioning and multiple attackers and ground versus striking and target selection, and technique selection, and so much else. But the moment it becomes real, it's not training. And so many people fall apart as things get closer and closer to that. One of my favorite drills, and I know I've talked about this on Martial Arts Radio, one of my favorite drills when I travel and people ask me to do something different is I will do some stress response stuff with people, and I watch, you know, second, third degree black belts just fall apart. They don't know what to do because they don't train under that condition. And they don't have a lot of stress in their lives. And not to say that the stress of whatever's going on in life is going to directly correlate to the stress of being on the street, but feeling comfort with stress, that's an adaptation. It's a conditioning response from your body. And so there is going to be a slight carryover. I've been a stressed, anxious person for a very long time. But the few times that I've had almost situations, I've been really lucky. I've been really proud that I've been able to diffuse everything before it became violent. But in those moments, you know, I become very aware of both my comfort and discomfort at the amount of stress that's there. Who is it? There's one of the podcasts I listen to. There's a gentleman who talks about, he's usually talking about firearms when he's talking about this, but it applies just as equally to what we do. You fall back on your lowest level of training. You know, we like to think that we're going to pull out these big fancy techniques, and that's not what happens. If you watch videos on YouTube of fights, even with martial artists, they look terrible. Doesn't look like a sparring match. That's okay. I mean, watch two animals fight. It's sloppy. Fighting is sloppy. Watch the third round of a UFC match. It's sloppy. People get tired. They're scared. They're hurt. It's really hard to train for anything close to that. There are ways, sure. So why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because we need to understand that sometimes what we do as martial artists is just to make ourselves better as people. It doesn't all have to apply on the street. It doesn't all have to make us stronger. Sometimes it's just fun. Sometimes it's just about the community of people that we're in. Sometimes it's just about the traditions that we're passing on. And I think so many martial artists discount those things, just toss them aside as if they're unimportant. And I think that's sad. There aren't too many things that you can be part of that have the legacy that martial arts does. So to discount that legacy seems wasteful to me. I can't, I mean, maybe with the exception of music, I could play music that goes back pretty far. But what else? What else can I do that connects me so deeply to the past? There are things I could read or look at. But what other things can I participate in that connect me to the past? Let's not forget about that. So, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. Don't forget, Monday's that Big Martial Arts Radio episode drop. Isn't it? Pretty sure. Like 95% sure. I barely drank any coffee, so I'm not feeling like. You take care. Be well.